Hi there, it's Ron. I wanted to make a video about uh, my progress report for 2020 and looking ahead to 2021. Um, 2020 was a strange year, to be kind about it. Um, I think for most, if not all of us, it's uncharted territory. And it presented challenges, especially mostly with COVID-19 and the isolation with different lockdowns and social distancing. And those of us who try to be responsible about it, not only wearing masks, but um, trying to minimize our socializing and all that good stuff. But made it through. One of the early on in the pandemic, my therapist asked me what I was doing. So we started meeting virtually back around, I think, the end of March. We started meeting virtually. Might have been a little sooner than that, but rather than in person. And she asked me after a few weeks what I was doing to cope with the isolation, because I lost my job working as a server at a movie theater that serves food and drink to the patrons. This is Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. And I told her I was looking for silver linings. And also drawing on my inner resources rather than relying on outer resources, which were largely taken away from a lot of us. And she really liked that, but that was kind of was instinctively doing that, but I had arrived at that point through therapy. But anyway, one of the biggest silver linings in all this is that I started my podcast in the summer. I think it was early in the summer, and started making my videos on YouTube here. And I'm pretty sure I would have eventually started them anyway, but the pandemic sped that up, and also allowed me to put more time and effort and emphasis on them, so they became a very regular thing. It was a new adventure. And something that started happening was by sharing my stories about mental health. By the way, this is Zeus, my emotional support dog. Some of you have already seen him on here. He's taking a snooze. By sharing my stories and just different insights I have on mental health and related issues, it was very cathartic for me. And of course, there was different news about the Boston Marathon, first being postponed until fall of 2020, and then being canceled outright. Now they're shooting for fall of 2021. As many of you know, I ran 17 straight Boston Marathons, and that included that was 2001 to 2017. That included 2013, the year of the bombings. So I'm making these videos and podcasts, and since the Boston Marathon topic came up fairly regularly, also during the year, we found out that the appeals court overturned Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's death penalty because of juror misconduct. There were two jurors that had posted on social media their opinions about him before the trial, and the judge still allowed them to be jurors. And one of them was the forewoman of the jury. So I wasn't too shocked, but about his death penalty being overturned. But anyway, so those topics came up again, of course, and I was talking more and more about that. And now I had already progressed thanks to therapy and thanks to Zeus here, and you know, the support I'd built up and things I'd learned. I had been progressing in how I felt about that. No, it'll always be a tragedy that's just crushing. Such a horrible day that was, but I found that I saw exactly why his death penalty was overturned. But I realized, as I was talking about it more and more, I realized that I had evolved to the point where I was fine with that. I was fine. In fact, I don't want him to get the death penalty. Now, he should spend the rest of his life in jail, and he will. But I kind of really surprised myself, and not only that, I started to realize more and more that I had forgiven him. Now, which has to be, and I told my therapist a couple of years ago, because she had brought up forgiving him, but I told her that has to be genuine. It has to come from within my soul. I can't just say it, and that makes it true, you know. But more and more I realized that, and I was making a video when I fully realized that, you know, I've forgiven this person. A couple of years ago, when I was living right next to White Rock Lake, there was a neighbor of mine, a singer named Erica Badu. She lived about a mile or so away from me, and she had scrawled a message. She had written a message in chalk on her garage door, and I saw it running past her house. Probably, I mean, I run every day, but probably a few times a week I saw it on her garage door. Love, forgive, evolve. And, you know, I always thought that was just a beautiful thing. And, you know, it took me a few years to come around from wanting to kill Dzhokhar Tsarnaev myself and torture him with a blowtorch and pliers to I forgave the man. And even now, just saying that and talking about it, it's this huge weight was lifted off my shoulder. And I also realized that holding that horrible grudge, all that anger, that was really holding back my progress in therapy on so many things. So I got more clarity when I became sober in May 7, 2019, my date of sobriety from alcohol. And just as time went by, I just evolved to that point. As Erica Badu wrote, love, forgive, evolve. And it was just, I surprised myself. Another quote I'll share that I think applies to this, some from Nietzsche. Throw roses into the abyss and say, here's my thanks to the monster who didn't succeed in swallowing me alive. That's very appropriate to this. And, you know, there's some huge life lessons in there for me, and I think other people too, that these grudges that we all are prone to hold from time to time about different things, they don't serve us at all. Again, forgiveness, I fully think has to be genuine, has to be from the heart and soul and everything. But I evolved to that point, and I just really surprised myself. But that's the result of really working hard on my therapy, working hard on my podcasts and videos. That's a result of all that. And that working through all that came to fruition in that. And that's something, that black cloud was gone, that weight was lifted. And I just wanted to share that. We were talking about that in therapy again just recently, of how much of a difference that has made. So again, these are some silver linings from 2020 for me, and I'm really looking forward to 2021. I know we're going to have some tough months ahead because the pandemic is as bad as it's ever been. We're going to have some tough months ahead and everything, but I'm going to redouble my efforts on podcasts and videos. And now I have this wonderful public speaking opportunity with NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, the North Texas chapter, speaking in their Recovery 101 program. So that's my chance to share my story and help other people. And I'm just a little surprised that I'm feeling optimistic about 2021. All right, and I wanted to just share that tonight, and hope everyone is hanging in there. Reach out for help if you need it. Reach out to friends and family hotlines, whatever you can do, and draw on your inner resources. And look for those silver linings, whatever you can find. All right, and remember that we are luminous beings. Y'all have a good night. Boston strong.